This week on Ahoy, I'm going to explain why I not only bought one, but two. Okay, let's go see the new van. Really don't know how I feel about this. Slight regret. New Volkswagen Transporters, aka the T7, which nobody is allowed to use. It's the new Transporter. I'm going to explain why I have bought them and the whole process, including selling my 3 T6.1s, how that's gone, have I got any regrets, what's the first 24 hours like in terms of owning them, what was it like in terms of buying them. And stay tuned because we got them at a really good price. Right, the last video I did up to now had 60,000 views. So the one where we actually go to the dealership and we interviewed Alex at York did really, really well. But I've never had so much negative comments in my video. And it took me by surprise, really. But the reality was it was echoing what was in the back of my mind. I just didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. I was angry at Volkswagen. As much as I have looked at Transits in the past and drove my mates' Transits and felt they were a better van and a better drive, I just felt like the Volkswagen was a safer bet because it was a better investment, especially around what we've been doing, which is buying, doing up the vans or buying and converting the vans into camper vans and then hiring them out. And some of the figures on that are dead interesting. So again, I'll cover that. But ultimately in this video, I'm going to cover why we bought one, or should I say two, what changed our mind, and do we have any regrets? The first thing, what I've done is all the comments that you put on my video, I've bulked them into sort of theme, and I'll box that off. And this is based on my opinion. This is how I've kind of rationalised things in my mind. First off, it's a Ford. Like, I'm under no illusion. So, screaming it's a Ford. I know it's a Ford. We all know it's a Ford. It's a Transit. It looks like a Transit. It drives like a Transit. It's a Transit. That's nothing new to me. I've got a MAN TGE, which is a crafter with different badges on. So I quite liked that I'd bought the MAN flavour of the crafter. MAN have got really good pedigree in terms of the Cat, big off-road vehicles. And I just quite like that it was a bit different at the time, but there's loads of MANs knocking about now. The difference with that is that MAN was bought by Volkswagen. It was a Volkswagen vehicle with MAN badges on. Right, looks. With nothing done to it, it just looks very awkward. It just looks like, I said to Katie, it's like a Transit that's gone to high school on its first day and it's got his hair combed over and his head's got to grow into his teeth. It just looks odd. It just looks unusual. But there's some really good aspects to it. So the silhouette works really well. There's a black one that I've seen lowered with 20-inch wheels on. And because it's black, it doesn't suffer with the appearance that it's got all that paint at the front. It looks like someone at Volkswagen was given a tin of paint and they're on the first day and someone left and then just never told the guy to stop painting. He's just like painted everything on the front. So it's a weird looking thing. But the silhouette, the stance of the van is really good. And the lights, the sort of, VW or Audi-esque lights, the way they kind of sweep up and they've got that neat line and then they sweep up into the middle. There's something to work with there. Ultimately, it's a relatively simple fix. Because you've got all that paint at the front, you've got to break it up somehow. So you've got to break it up just underneath the bonnet with that little bit. And interestingly, there's two panel lines on that. So you can do it in different ways. Or you go the full hog and then you paint the full grille. And again, you've got options in terms of how you do that. Just a very short period of time, you're starting to see the early mods and it looks a million times better. And actually, is starting to, with some of them, is starting to look better than the T6.1. I never thought I would say that. It's ultimately a different chapter. Like it is, again, I'll repeat, it's a Transit with Volkswagen badges on it. So it's a new chapter, it's a new design language, for better or worse, has the Ford kind of bulbous sort of styling to it. So Volkswagen's design language across that range was always like kind of, almost like it had been sculpted out of a piece of wood and then fabric had been pulled tightly over it. So it was the minimum amount of curves, Nothing sort of superfluous in terms of how the design looked. And then obviously we've had, you know, T5, T6, T6.1, loads of different changes in terms of the front and what have you. But the Ford version, I think a lot of their vehicles, it's almost like the other way around. It's like just sticking balloons up a jumper to fill the shape out. There's parts of the vehicle that remind me of that and just annoy me. The wet belt, there's no way around it. It's a risk. I don't think it's a good engineering choice. I think it's a great way to improve the efficiency of the engine, reduce noise in the engine marginally, but the risk is then passed on to the owner long term. Even though you're getting really good warranty, MOTs and all the rest of it, you get this amazing deal with Volkswagen. In long term, the second-hand owners are going to have to deal with the possible issues around wet belt. A few people have put in comments that the T6.1 has a wet belt. That's bullshit, really. I think you have to remember that the wet belt on the T6.1 was on the oil pump, and it was one small part of the engine, not under a lot of strain. So there was no questions around longevity, and there's no known issues with it. Whereas on the wet belt side of things, across a number of platforms, there are inherent problems where belts are failing early. Now, there are improvements to the belts in terms of materials, and they're trying to make it last longer. I've been following the guys at Car Edition, and they are great in terms of like doing the strip down, showing you how it works, what's happening to the vehicles, looking through things that are failing, like the gauze that collects the dirty oil, like the filters, and the manufacturers are making little tweaks to make belts stronger, the gauze is bigger. So there are improvements being made, but the bottom line is it's a risk. Price. This was one of the major reasons we changed our mind. So when I went into Oldham to have one of the T6.1s serviced, I seen a load of the new transporters on the forecourt, and they were sort of being unloaded off the logistics vehicles, like the lorries. And I was like, what's going on there? How come these, big orders? I didn't realise they were selling that well. And he's like, no, we've bought stock. So I said, what interesting, what are the prices? And he's like, well, could probably get you into a lower model at 25k plus the VAT. So that created a bit of interest. I phoned them back. We've been busy doing house renovations, and the other side of what I do work-wise has been really busy. So I tried to go back and buy one, and they'd sold out straight away. Phoning around a lot of places to try and see if there was any pre-registered vehicles. I landed on Wrexham, and they had 3. Now, I went to Wrexham, it's only like 15 minutes from us, but I went to Wrexham straight away, and I just picked the colours that I like. So we picked a mid-blue and a light stone grey. And even when we were there was someone else basically buying the third vehicle. So we got the Commerce Pro with tailgate. Unfortunately, it still had the bulkhead, and it's got the 3 seats in the front, so it's got the bench and the single seat. But we got them for 28.5k plus the VAT. So 16k across the 2 vans. And just to compare that, the 21 plate Highline that we bought from York, and Alex, sorry I didn't buy the vans from you. If you would have had pre-registered ones, I would have done, mate. Yeah, the 21 plate van that I bought, which will have been 2001, was the same price. So if you think about it, each one of those vans was bought at the same price that we paid just 4 years ago for a Highline that didn't have as much on it. That's 4 years ago, inflation and all the rest of it. And on the other 2 vans, we pulled 43, that was for a 22 plate Start Line Business Edition, and for the same model we pulled 44. So yeah, 43, 44, 46. Now, that is amazing. We've had, on a couple of those vans, we had 3 years income. On the other, we've had a year's income, and then effectively sold them for the same price that it cost us to buy and build them. There's not many products that you can buy like that. It's like frigging Rolex watch or something. So that was a bit of an eye-opener. But as great as that seems, because the T6.1 values are strong at the moment, and I didn't want to leave it too late going into summer, because I wanted to kind of obviously get a stronger price for camper vans in the summer. The reason they are strong is because they're worth keeping, and also because of the kickback on The new version of the vans is meaning that those prices are strong. So it's a blessing and a curse. But there was two bigger reasons why we decided to go for the new van. Reason one was washing vans in the summer when you're running a hire business is just not fun. I do other things, so me working a long day and then jumping in and helping Katie. Katie would clean the inside of the vans and then I'd wash the outside of them. And it eats into your weekend. It was starting to grate on me a little bit. The people, like the people side of the business, it's lovely, like dealing with everyone who had a van was great and looked after the van. We've had no issues from that point of view. The insurance is a little bit expensive, but in general, it's a great little sort of additional business. And also, after the scare in the spring, I kind of felt like, I don't know, when you've had a cancer scare, and I think you just see life through a little bit of a different lens. And as much as I love vans, and I love Volkswagen vans, I love the scene. So being precious around, oh, it's not a Volkswagen or whatever. I mean, whatever that is, this idea that it's German made and all the rest of it. I mean, the T6.1 was made in Poland. So getting attached to things in that way. But also like the van scene as well. Like we went to the camp out over in Hull and there was all sorts of different vans there. There was Land Rovers, there was Sprinters, there was all sorts of different vans, like vans that are like 150 grand and vans that are like, $5,000. It doesn't matter. It's not that I don't take it seriously, it's just that I take it with a bit of a pinch of salt. Also, it's become a bit of an underdog, like you don't see many on the roads. So the thrill of a new project and a new platform and working on something new just kind of like trumped it, really. I suppose I'm a bit of a nerd. I just always want a new project and I get bored of things and I want to move on to something new. So that was the second thing as well. The drive, right. So Phil at Volkswagen in Wrexham was, I think it's called Swanway. They've got a big one in Liverpool as well. Was brilliant. So customer service, absolutely top notch, and he even drove the vans down. Even when he turned up in the vans, I was like, shit, what have we done? Just looks like two transits turning up. Well, they are two transits. So I was excited, but I was like, oh. So I didn't take the test drive in the day. I had a few bits on. So the first test drive was after we bloody ordered two. So I took it for a drive on my Jack, and everything felt worth it. It just drives so much better, and you can't get that on YouTube. You can't get it from watching videos. You can't get it from some dude who goes, oh, it really handles well in the corners and blah, blah, blah. Until you drive it, you don't know what you're missing. Yes, it is firmer in the corners. Now I'm going back and doing the same thing. It's firmer in the corners, but you can feel the road, so you can feel the grit in the road. But when you went over a speed bump or you went over a pothole, it would absorb them. And that's what it's like. And when people say, oh, it drives more like a car or whatever, the infotainment system and the screen really wraps around you, and you really get a sense of that at night. The steering wheel's a lot softer, and I could literally spin it. I feel like I could spin it around in this kitchen, like it's ridiculous. The turning circle on it's brilliant. Let's put it this way: the previous Transit was better than the T6.1. This shits all over the older Transit and drives better. So that's how much of a leap it is in terms of how it drives. Now the power delivery on the engines, it's a 110 engine, and I had to phone Phil the next day. I was like, it says 110 on the logbook, like what's going on here? Why is it so much better in terms of engine? Because literally the other vans that I've just saw were all 110s. And he says, I'm not sure. So I've quickly looked at the specs. The actual torque has risen from 250 to 310. So it's an extra 60 newton meters of torque. And I think what else is happening is, because it's 6-speed, the ratios on the gears are a little bit lower, so you're getting a bit more grunt through first, second, third gears. So that was another nice surprise. Basically, I've got an engine in terms of power that feels close to the original 150, but is a 110. Again, until you drove it, you won't know what I'm on about, but once you do, you will. Paintwork, fuck. Within 24 hours, I removed the bulkhead to check for you all how easy it was to remove the bulkhead, which is piss easy. You just need a T30 and then I think it was a 10mm on the two like cargo holders at the bottom, and it comes out. On the T6.1 you have to grind out the welds at the bottom. If you've done it, you'll know what I mean. It's not a big job, but it's just more time consuming. There's a load of mess, but yeah, it just bolts out really good. I would normally order the bulkhead delete, But actually on these vans, that's one shit thing. Like the bulkhead delete leaves all the, like the airbag on show and everything. And it's almost like the van, they've just literally behind the seat, they went, nah, we're going to try and save a bit of money. And the back of the seats has got this really crap marl fabric on it. And then the bulkhead delete, they've put no trim around the back of the pillar. Oh, crap. Anyway, so that was one thing. But testing the paint, I took the bulkhead out, and then one of the neighbours' mates behind me was in a Transit, and he was chit-chatting. Transit friends. And the fucking bulkhead fell against the van. You know, I bought it pre-registered, so it was that you can see. The bulkhead has just fell onto the van. Oh, this is the thing when you're filming and trying to do videos. The paintwork's actually fared pretty well. I meant to do that on purpose. I was testing the paintwork. Now I've got to tell Kate. Can you fucking believe that? That only I could do that. I've had it a day. Yeah.
Out of both of them?
But the bulkhead
Yeah.
blew onto the van.
No way. How?
It's just the wind blew onto it. So I put it at the side and I was filming, and then
And what's it done to it?
it's marked the paint. Luckily, it's going to come out of the paint, but it's hit the headlight and it's scratched the headlight a bit.
Oh.
So I don't know if that'll buff out. But yeah.
One day.
One day.
One day.
Well, we are sort of saying what we can. What's. Luckily, it's looking like it's going to buff out. I don't know what's going to happen with the light because there's like a little scuff on the light. But yeah, tested the paintwork. Paintwork's good. Handles a knock off a big steel bulkhead. Oh, absolute idiot. Anyway, so there you go. But yeah, the paintwork's a lot better. I was in the Transit forums, and a few guys and gals were reporting that when they got the new Transits, there was like primer showing on the edge of the doors and orange peel and a few issues. Cleaning from Wrexham, well done. No bird shit gate on the roof of these. I did do a little bit of a check, Aidan. So yeah, squeaky clean. So yeah, the screen and infotainment system, again, I'd sat in one, I'd had a fanny about with it, I'd set it up on my phone and all the rest of it, but when you're using it yourself, it's just so good, man. It's just great. And a few shit shows. You can, if you jumped out of the van and you want to quickly put your windows up and you want to pull your wing mirrors in, which you could on the Highline, you can. It's an extra. You have to put it as an added extra. So I can't do that. I've quickly looked on Carista, which is the USB plug-in thing that you can then run through an app and change settings. Is not supported yet. So that's usually the type of things that you can change on Carista. I believe it might be an update that comes from Volkswagen, and I hope they do, because that's a bit of a chitter, and it feels like a small thing, but I used to use that quite a lot. The other shit show, the indicator noise, it's just grates on me. It's like a synthetic cuckoo noise rather than a nice clear tick. Oh, that noise. It's funny how everything else you're happy with, and there's just little things like that just do your head in.
There's always something though, I think, on a car.
Yeah, on a car or a van or whatever. Yeah, just a small thing that's just dead annoying. The side door, when you slam it, just feels like you're flicking the side of a biscuit bin. It's just this really shitty, crappy, cheap noise. The plastics on the mats, and again, as I say, if you look at that central line in the dash and then you follow everything down, it all kind of just goes to shit the lower it gets. And what's really good, I think, with more female owners of vans, Kate, is that they've provided a she-wee. So if you're ever caught short, you can just have a little piddle like me, and then we can see who can piss the farthest. Nice. And you've got a little like, you know, with a pen, you've got a little sort of clip. You could pop it on your belt maybe. So if you ever need a wee, it's just there. Plastic on the mats and in the step as you get in the cab, and even on the accelerator pedal, it's just got a proper Poundland feel to it. It's some of it's like, have you ever seen something 3D printed? They've not they've not deburred the edges. Yeah, I don't know what the crack is there. I don't know if it's one of these things, modern vehicle, trying to save weight, or whether they're trying to save money and make more profit. I don't know, but I don't like it. Then there's the wing mirror bases. So the plastic near the window that holds the wing mirrors, I'm just not feeling it. And also, the way the rubber of the bottom of the glass meets that, it just looks like when you have an awkward handshake with somebody and you don't know what you're doing, it's like that. And again, my background's design, and all that stuff's niggling me. It's niggling me. Heated seats, absolutely brilliant. The red hot, you can get a right crack sweat on. So, how am I feeling overall? I've still got a bit of regret. I'm under no illusion. It's a Ford Transit with different badges on, so it's the Volkswagen flavour of the Ford Transit. But let's be honest, like that, the T5, T6, T6.1, it's what, 22 years old? Residual values, I think, because of the wet belt side of it, I think the residual values, once you get into like 5, 6, 7 years, are not going to be as strong. I just think it's a great base. Breaking up that bonnet all of a sudden brings out its strong points. And then the actual silhouette of the van, it reminds me of the old, like, my mate used to always draw like sort of cars, like when they draw the cars with like the souped up wheels and they're all flared out the side like them caricatures of cars. Reminds me of that a little bit, like kind of the silhouette of it and that kind of really sort of aggressive snub nose. You've just got to really break up that bonnet. It just looks like a really shit stormtrooper mask. The warranty, roadside assistance, all that palaver is just, that's a win. Like whichever way you take it, whether you're feeling that Volkswagen are being desperate, whether they've tried to trump Ford, whichever way you cook it, you're getting it. So take it. Like it's a plus. Like you've got pluses and minuses. Take that as a plus. Drivability just knocks the socks off the other vans. As much as you'll pull up next to one of us in the new vans at the lights and look over and go, Tosser, he's got a Transit. Just know that that van drives way better than your T6.1, your T6 or your T5. All vans that I dearly love. It was the community that was great. With the new vans, I think people kind of just want to stay part of that community, the Volkswagen community. I think the challenge is that the Volkswagen community, a lot of, from what I've been seeing in the comments, are saying, nope, sorry, you're not part of it. The final word is, it's a new chapter. It's a brand new chapter. That platform's 22 years old. They needed to do something new. We're probably hoping that Volkswagen would lean over Ford's shoulder and copy its homework and improve the platform, and we'd all get a new van. That's what I was hoping for. Be careful what you wish for, I suppose. Volkswagen have spread themselves too thin, like a lot of car manufacturers. They've had to go into the EV race, and they've got so many different platforms out there, like they must have been spread way thin. The platform sharing is popular. We've seen it with the Caddy, we've seen it with the Ranger. Really, should we be that surprised? And should we be that annoyed that it's basically a competitor's van that was way better anyway? I think we just wanted better looks and no wet belt. And I think if they'd have avoided the wet belt and the looks could have been marginally better, I think they would have been onto a winner with this van. But for now, it's definitely an underdog story. And yeah, that is my summary within the first 24 hours.